Yeah. Astu. Okay. Recording on this computer as well. Okay. प्रार्थनां कृत्वा प्रारम्भं करिष्यामः अद्य. ॐ वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ. वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां संजीवयत्यखिल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरण श्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्. ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं. हरिः ओम्.
नमो नमः महोदय.
नमो नमः. सर्वेभ्यः सुस्वागतम्. प्रथमायै कक्षायै अद्य भजगोविन्दस्य प्रथमायै कक्षायै सर्वेभ्यः सुस्वागतम्. अद्य प्रथमतः सर्वेभ्यः एकवारं परिचयं दास्यामः. Let us introduce ourselves to begin with as a first step. Okay. So what I will now do, let's do a gallery view here, and I will call out one by one. We are 18 of us. I'll introduce myself in the end. A lot of you know me, but a few of you do not. Who do not will have a introduction. Why don't we start with what I would like to understand today from all of you is basically your background. What is it that you do in Laukika, Alaukika, all forms and shapes. Then also your background, a little bit of your background, your journey so far on the Sanskritam and the Adhyatma plane. And also, I would like to understand your expectation from this session, from these sessions. Why are we here? What are we planning to do? What is it that you think we will be doing, and what is it that what you want to expect? Okay. So let us start with, okay, I will call out one by one. Let us start with Chitra Mahadya.
Namaskara sarvebhyah. So I am Chitra. I am Grihini. I have a son. He is working in Intel. Right now I am in USA. I completed what is that? Lata Varga.
Lata Varga Parichaya.
Lata Varga. Right now I can at least compared to before, right now I can connect with because of Sanskrit knowledge, I can connect with slokas and all. Now I can able to follow that. I'm very happy to learn more and more. That's it, Mahoday. More than this.
What is your expectation from these sessions?
Yes, before learning how it's very difficult for me to say expectations and all, and I want to change more and more. So after learning this Bhaja Govindam, I want to change today how I am, and after when I complete this course, I want to know the way how I change in that way only. Many things I want to learn through.
Okay. Astu. Next. Basavaraj Mahodaya. You are up next.
Namaste. Namaste. My name is Basavaraj. I did start last, I think 2 years back with Sasyam class, but unfortunately because of my moving from one place to another, I could not continue. So this year I wanted to start again. And as far as Bhaja Govindam, I have been practicing saying slokas since I was a child. And since my school days, I used to remember most of them. And my father also used to explain the meaning of that. So I want to kind of refresh that by joining this class.
Okay. So when you say you are from Sasyam background, is it that you did Vibhakti, Vachana and Dhatu?
Yeah, I was in the middle of that when unfortunately I had to discontinue because I was moving from one place to another place and the timing did not work at that time.
Okay.
So I had to discontinue. I'm starting back again this year on Sasyam because now I'm kind of settled. So this will be an additional. Sorry, I'm an engineer.
You're an engineer, right?
I live in Michigan, USA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you're working. Okay, you're working at you're in Michigan.
Yes, I'm working.
Okay, very nice, very nice. Okay, so hope this time works for you.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay. Astu, dhanyawadaha. We'll connect again. We'll have a lot more interactions. Yes, Sushila Mahodaya.
Namaskar, Mahodaya. I was a student of yours in Lata. I wanted to do Bhaja Govindam in the thing that I wanted to be in Sanskrit, but not with any exams and point of view, but to know more about the language as well as the slokas. And so that's it. I told you I'm a Lata student. And I also have 2 of my cousins with me along with this.
Yes, all your cousins will introduce themselves. So it's a record this time. We have 3 cousins who have joined here. So we'll introduce all of them will introduce themselves. That's good. And you're based out of Hyderabad, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm from Secunderabad.
Astu. Dhanyawadaha. Ashwini Mahodaya.
Namaste all. I'm Ashwini from Bangalore. I'm an architect, interior designer and landscape designer. I'm a student of iconography and temple architecture. So I've completed Pravesha from Sanskrit Bharati and Sasyam and Lata from Arsha Seva Kendram. I want to learn more Anvaya from Bhaja Govindam. So I've registered this course.
Would you like to say anything in specific apart from that?
No, sir.
Okay, Astu. Very good. Dhanyawadaha. Next, Bhavani Mahodaya.
Namaste, Karthik ji, and Namaste, Sahapatis. My name is Bhavani Vishwanath. I am here in Houston, Texas, USA. I'm a retired housewife. I worked as a clinical microbiologist at the University of Texas here. Retired in 2018. So since then, I've been involved in studying our scriptures and being part of all the classes. So I know Dr. Jai Kumar ji from his Houston days. So I joined his Bhagavad Gita study session. So I am in that group. So now we are already in chapter 18. I also completed the Sasyam and the Pravesha exams with the group. So now I want to delve more deeper into our scriptures. So that is my goal with joining this Bhaja Govindam course. I'm also in other Parayanam classes for Bhagavatam and Narayaniam and Sundarakandam with another group here in US. So I'm learning those as well. So I'm originally from Bangalore. I have a background in Sanskrit because I studied Sanskrit throughout high school and college. So that is really helping me. So I want to further my Sanskrit journey and also my Advaita learning, of Shankaracharya's works. So that's why I'm here. I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
Wonderful. So you're part of the Houston gang.
Yes. Yeah. That's how I know Dr. Jayakumarji. Yeah.
Yes. No, I've heard a lot about the Houston gang. You have a lot of memories, a lot of things around. Yes. Very nice. So Swagatam.
Yeah.
So
I spend my time 6 months here and 6 months in Bangalore. So right now I came back. So eventually I will just be in Bangalore most of the time. I think I'll move out sometime next year. That's the goal.
उत्तमं यदा कदापि आगमिष्यति एकवारं वदतु सर्वे मेलिष्यामः बहवः जनाः अत्र बेंगलुरुनगरे सन्ति. Many are here in Bangalore, so let's see when you are in Bangalore. I think that way you will not be affected by the time zone change, in which case when the day kicks in. Good. Okay, astu Mahodaya, धन्यवादाः.
Namaste.
Namaste. Akhila Mahodaya.
Mahodaya Shamyatam, I'm not on video today and next class also. After that, I will be present.
Chinta nasti, vadatu.
I'm based in Bangalore and my interest in Sanskrit is Sanskrit studies I have done for the past 5 years. I have done Malati with ASK last year, Harsha Seva Kendram. I have done the Sanskrit Bharati Pravesh and Parichaya exams. I have learned as a child Bhaja Govindam. I came to know of all the good works that ASK is doing after I joined Malati class last year. I relocated from Singapore to Bangalore 3 years ago. My Sanskrit journey started from Sanskrit Bharati Singapore. So, apart from that, I volunteer my time to teach Sanskrit and shlokas and Bhagavad Gitas and Mahabharata stories to children.
Very nice. Very good. So what is your expectation from Bhaja Govindam classes here?
I know to recite. Now I'm trying to, with your help, I'll try to identify all the sandhis because I've also done Malati. I've completed all the types of sandhis. So let me see. I just wanted to challenge myself and see if I can dwell deep and then understand each word. What Adi Shankaracharya has written. And I've also loved the Sahapatis of ASK. They are all very enthusiastic and energetic and knowledgeable with similar likings. So I'm looking forward to this class, Mahodaya. Dhanyavadaha.
Uttamam. Bhanuna Mahodayena saha krutavati va Malati kaksha?
Bhanu Mahodaya.
That's what I said. Bhanuna Mahodaya.
Bhanu. Correct.
Uttamam. Dhanyavadaha. Astu. Godha Mahodaya.
Namaste Sarvebhyaha. We have met once at what is that, Maya?
Yes.
For lunch.
Yes, we met at Maya. That's what I was telling Bhavani Mahodaya. No? If she comes to Bangalore, that will be yes, we'll do that.
I am now presently Lata student, and I want to understand Bhaja Govindam completely. That's how I have joined this group.
So, what is your background? You might want to. I know that, but you may want to share it with everyone.
I am basically an earth scientist. Worked for Geological Survey of India. Now retired. I also worked for a diamond investigation company After that, I worked as Secretary Geological Society of India. Now I am full-time at home.
So I think she's being modest here. She has quite a bit of accomplishments. Sometime during the class, we'll hear a lot more about her accomplishments. Astu.
Yes.
धन्यवादाः.
Thank you.
संस्कृते सर्वं वदतु एकवारम् अग्रे.
Okay.
Next
Thank you.
time, tell it in Sanskrit. अस्तु वा?
Okay. Astu. Astu.
Okay. जानकी महोदय. जानकी महोदय अस्ति वा?
Namaste Mahodaya, I'm Nagaprabha here. I
ओ
think
नागप्रभा अस्ति वा? अस्तु
joined
अस्तु.
from
भवती जानकी अस्तु. कुत्र अस्ति भवती? अद्य वीडियो नास्ति. चिन्ता नास्ति, वदतु.
Namaste. Namaste Sarvebhyah. I'm Nagaprabha. I'm living in Mangalore. Yoga instructor. I take online yoga classes. I have completed Lata. I have written Lata exam with the student of Karthik Mahodaya. Now I'm looking forward for Bhaja Govindam and Malati. Yeah, next step is Malati, right? Yeah.
Yeah, next one is Malati. That is right. Yeah.
Yeah, I love to. I believe that chanting is one way of learning Sanskrit. Chanting fluently, the shlokas and all. So, and also want to understand the meaning properly.
उत्तमम् उत्तमम् उत्तमम्. धन्यवादाः. Yes. जया महोदय.
Namaste Sarvebhyah. Namaste Karthik Mahodaya. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we are all able to hear you.
Okay. So my name is Jaya and I'm here from USA, Columbus, Ohio. And last year I done Malati from Shiksha exam from ASK. I started learning Sanskrit about 5 years ago. I learned Bhaja Govindam from my dad in my childhood, but I want to know the inner meanings and what it really means. That is the thing. And also I teach young children with Samskrita Bharati in the local chapter. That is what my background is. Yeah.
Dhanyawadaha. She also does quite a bit of things. So we'll all get to know each other as we move on ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Dhanyawad.
Jai Balambika Mahodaya.
Namaste, Mahodaya. I was a student of Karthik sir for Lata. I like Bhaja Govindam. Whenever I hear Bhaja Govindam, I like it very much. And I saw this course and I want to know the meaning. That's the reason I joined the course.
Okay. So your background?
Basically, I was initially I'm an engineer. I was working in software for about 10 years, and then I shifted gears to machine learning, and then after that shifted gears to yoga, and currently I'm pursuing everything all together.
She's doing quite a bit from SVASA and quite a bit of work there. Astu. Dhanyawadaha. Lalita Mahodaya.
अहं 5 निमिषानन्तरं वक्तुम् इच्छामि महोदय. 5 निमिषानन्तरम्.
अस्तु चिन्ता नास्ति महोदय. अस्तु
धन्यवादः.
निशा महोदय भवती वदिष्यति वा?
आं महोदय.
Namaste. Namaste. So basically, I have been a student of Karthik sir last 2 Sanskrit classes. but I have not really pursued Sanskrit very seriously. I plan to do that in the future. I am joining Bhaja Govindam class because I want to learn the meaning in depth, and as sir explains very nicely, I'm interested. I do chant at home sometimes, so I'm familiar with the wordings, but yes, in-depth meaning is what I'm looking for. I have done my BCom honors, and long back I was working, but I'm a housewife right now from a long time. I am interested in Vedanta and have been from last 2-3 years pursuing many Vedanta scriptures, learning, trying to attend some classes. So, and some of the faces here I know are from earlier classes, but some are new. So it's nice to meet everybody. Yes. So I look forward to it.
Yes, we'll interact more on these things
Dhanyavad.
and we'll all interact together. There is a group, yeah, we'll talk about that in a while. Okay. Dhanyavadaha.
Dhanyavad.
So with this, let's bring the other two of the three musketeers, the two Parvati Mahodayas. Yeah.
Namo Namaha Sarvebhya. I am Parvati Suresh, one of the three musketeers. That's a name that has been since our childhood, because there's another sister. We grew up together. We were called the three musketeers when we were very little, because we used to rule our neighborhood, decide what games we play and everything. Nice to hear that name again after so many years. I live in Bangalore. Right now, I'm in the US visiting my children, grandkids, spending time with them. Bhaja Govindam is something we've heard in our house literally every day. So the song is there at the back. Certain parts we could just make out, but the rest has no meaning. So for me, basically to find out what the meaning is, and also try to connect with whatever Sanskrit I wouldn't say learned, I've attended the classes I've attended so far. So I've just, I did Lata, but I'm not very sure that I'm up to par. So I would either repeat it when I have more time and I can attend classes properly. So I'm taking a break, or I don't want to let go my connection with Sanskrit. And like somebody else said, I enjoy Kartik Mahoday's class, the way he explains things. And so I hope to become like a better person, understand more, and try to live up to something, some of the things possible.
You have understood Sanskritam, you are just being modest about it. Just try to speak a little more, you'll be far. That's all. Dhanyavadaha. Okay, we'll bring in your other sister now. Yeah, that is Parvati Venkateshwaran, right?
Namaskara to everybody. I'm Parvati, the other Parvati's namesake. I'm based in Mumbai, and all these years I was working first with the British Council Library for over 17 years. And then I joined the Americans and worked at the American Center, the US Consulate, for another 17 years. And what I like is to be in nature. I did a lot of trekking. I love bird watching. I love listening to music. As the other Parvati said, growing up, we have heard MS's Bhaja Govindam. And I used to be so thrilled. I still love music and I listen to a lot of bhajans. So when Sushilaka told me about Asha Seva Kendra, and she encouraged me to join, because, we studied in a convent and we had horrible Hindi teachers. So there is no formal education with any of our Indian languages. So I joined Sasyam last year, but I found it quite difficult. So I plan to repeat Sasyam because I'm not confident I really have the basics well. I know the Devanagari script. I can read because I lead the Sostras and I do a little bit of chanting, Vishnu Sahasranamam, Lalita Sahasranamam and all that. Of course, I don't understand anything. I listen to the Shankara programs where sometimes they give you the meanings and what all these mean. But other than that, so I thought, let me brush up, let me learn more Sanskrit so that I can appreciate it much better. And as I said, Bhaja Govindam, it's lovely. And I thought, why not understand the meaning of Bhaja Govindam and in the bargain learn a little more of the language itself, whatever little I can follow. Because I think every exposure is a little step more towards understanding. Rather than learning it formally through a class, this is another approach. So I thought, let me give it a try. Thank you.
So Swagatam. We'll understand a little more on these things. Then Prashant Mahodaya.
Namo Namah.
Namo Namaha.
Parichayam datavyam va?
Parichayam datavyam.
Astu, mama nama Prashantah. Parichaya kim vadaniyam?
वदनीयं भवतः नाम भवतः कुत्र वसति किं करिष्यति भवतः पूर्वं किं कर्तुं कृतवान् इदानीं किं कर्तुम् इच्छति सर्वम्
अस्तु अहं मोहाली नगरे वसामि अहं संस्कृतिं च पठामि किञ्चित् पाठयामि अहं प्रारम्भिकस्तरे पाठयामि संस्कृतं किं कर्तुम् इच्छामि अहम् आत्मज्ञानं प्राप्तुम् इच्छामि
आत्मज्ञानं प्राप्तुम् इच्छामि उत्तमं तदर्थमेव भजगोविन्दम् अत्र आगतवान् लिखितुम् आगतम् उत्तमम् उत्तमं तत्र किं भवतः शिक्षा किम् अभवत्
शिक्षा आसीत् MA इंग्लिश अभवत् परन्तु अनन्तरम् अहं संस्कृतस्य पठनम् आरम्भं कृतवान्
मूलतः कुतः अस्ति भवान्
अत्र एव
अस्तु जन्मात् तत्र एव वसति अस्तु उत्तमम् उत्तमं सुस्वागतं सन्तोषः विषयः भवान् आगतवान् अस्तु राजेश महोदयः
good evening namaste namaskar my name is Rajesh I am basically from Trivandrum but I live in Kochi I'm always I'm a tour guide by profession and I do tour lead all southern India also I take people to Europe also so I have some opportunity to meet Swami Dayananda and whenever I get time I do visit ashram and always I want to learn whenever there is a chance so I'm studying myself the Bhagavad Gita so then I came to know about this Bhagavad Gita, our Bhaja Govindam class. I heard about this as like a Prasthana Traya a few years back at Rishikesh camp, but I couldn't join the course that time. So now the opportunity just arrived. So my expectation basically, I want to learn about it because it's a deep subject. And because and I want to, if possible, I want to convey certain message to my guests who visit India. So basically that's the reason. Yeah. Thank you.
That's a good prayojana there. We should keep that in mind. Dhanyawadaha. Very good. Ramya Mahodaya. Ramya Mahodaya अस्ति वा?
अस्ति महोदय नमस्कारः
वदतु
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm Ramya. Yeah. Myself Ramya. Actually, I'm from Bangalore, and even I did Mata in ASK. and but with a lot of absentees, but somehow I finished it. And from Sanskrit Bharati, even I gave my Parichaya exam also. And I was a software engineer. Then I moved myself towards yoga. I did my PGDYT from SVyasa, and now I am like half and half homemaker as well as a yoga therapist too. Actually, I entered into uh, mm, Sanskritam because I did my school days. I learned Hindi. I was not at all known about Sanskritam, but it was much similar to Hindi, like that. Then entered, my daughter is studying in Sanskrit. She is in school. So just to help her, or children will think mother doesn't know anything. I don't want to give her a chance. So I thought, let me also start up little with the baby steps. So I started with Sasyam. Then somehow I went to Lata. But now at least whatever she is saying, I can go through those textbooks and I can see what is right, what is wrong, or something like that. At least I can make a try for that. So coming to Bhaja Govindam, I love Lord Govinda very much. And by hearing that song itself, some sort of feel everybody will feel. So even I feel the same thing. So, and the teaching of Karthik Mahodaya is also very good. So next connectivity, I was waiting for Malati, but since we got a chance this one, so I don't want to lose it. So I'm just into it.
Okay, no, I'm not going to teach Malti. Okay, one very clear thing. Many people have asked me and pinged me asking, when are you going to start Malti? So no, Malti classes are being held and somebody else is going to take it. I am not going to teach Malti. I'm moving
anyway,
out.
we will be connected with this.
Yes, very much. I'll be taking certain other classes. As I had said before, my original idea was to start Panchatantra, but over time it changed, and we'll start Panchatantra in some time. So after this, probably we'll do, after Bhaja Govindam, we'll do Panchatantra. That was my original idea, and so we'll be moving on. So, okay. Astu.
धन्यवादः महोदय.
धन्यवादाः. Shalini Mahodaya. न श्रूयते महोदय. ध्वनिमुद्रिका नास्ति इति मन्ये. I don't think you are connected to your Dwani Mudrika or mic. It's not properly connected. No, it's not properly connected. There is some challenge.
Please reconnect it. I think you can disconnect and reconnect. It might work.
Yeah, that might help you.
Yep.
No,
not yet.
Not helping. So what we will do, we'll just look back. Now you may want to try again.
Yeah.
No, not working. So
problem
just
with the
when your technology is sorted, we'll come back to you, Mahodaya. Yeah, Sushila Mahodaya is done. Usha Mahodaya.
Namaste, Sarvebhya. Mahodaya, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you are audible. Yeah.
I am Usha. I am from Mumbai. I was working for a pharmaceutical company till 2018. And in 2019, I started studying Sanskritam from Sanskrit Bharati. Now I am doing Gita Pravesh also from Sanskrit Bharati itself. And apart from that, I teach Devvani, that is one of the courses from Sanskrit Bharati to school children, and also Bhagavad Gita shlokas. And as I'm learning Bhagavad Gita from Sanskrit Bharati, I happened to get this, I wanted to learn this Bhagavad Gita in depth, like with the Bhashyam and all. And I happened to get this Archavidya courses on WhatsApp. And I joined for Bhagavad Gita actually. And then I happened to see this Bhaja Govindam also happening. So Bhaja Govindam, of course, we all hear regularly. And of course, that is one of the greatest works of Adi Shankaracharya on bhakti. Like, so although he speaks a lot about Jnana Marga, and at the same time, like So I thought, like, let me understand that in depth, and that too with Sanskrit. Like, it is better to learn with the Sanskritam grammar. Like, so, and that's the reason, like, I joined for this course.
Nice to hear that. What happened? Okay, Vibha Mahodaya, yeah.
Namo Namaha. Aham Vibha from Mumbai. I have done Sasyam and Lata from Aseva Kandra, and I am Gruhini. I want to learn Anvaya Krama for Bhaja Govindam. As a Bhaja Govindam is a stotram, like a Charta Pancharika stotram. That I don't know the meaning of that. That's why I'm interested of this. Why it is called Charpat Pancharika stotram? So
We'll learn that. We'll learn that. Lot of things to be learned about Bhaja Govindam and Bhaja Govindam itself. So it was okay. A very short answer to that, but there is a deeper meaning. It was jhatiti. The moment he saw something, he started doing it. And it started continuing in a relay. So unlike if you look at other stotras, for instance, the even for instance the Bhujanga stotra, right? There also it was jhatiti, but the things were very different. He started with Tirchanduri. This was Kashi, but this was aimed at somebody else. So that is a short answer, but we'll get a longer answer for that in some. Okay?
Yeah, धन्यवाद महोदय.
धन्यवादाः. अस्तु. शालिनी महोदया पुनरागतवती.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, that's great. So I think I'm one of the last entrants, and where should I begin? I first encountered Bhaja Govindam at the Chinmay Mission in Brampton, Canada, and I was quite blinded by the beauty of it, and I do not have any, like, just a very bare background in Sanskrit, in the sense that it was offered in our school in lieu of Hindi, and we could earn more marks. So I think I did it for a year or so, and then I quite lost touch. And then after that, this was 2011 when I came across this, and then I cut back to 2022 when a visiting Swami of the Chinmay Mission, we just started with a very small center in Chandigarh, which is where I belong to, and where Swami Prakashananji, who heads the 2-year Vedanta course in Dharamshala, who's now posted there, but earlier he was with the Delhi branch or something, and then he had come over, and we had a retreat for 5 days doing Bhaja Govindam. And I thought, oh my God, this is just a slim volume, and what is he going to teach there? But it was amazing. And then since then, I have kind of whatever little I could get from the YouTube, whenever I have the time, I have been going to it over and over again. And Prashant here, this young person who just introduced himself, he is my Sanskrit teacher. So it's been about a month or so, just over a month, that I have started learning Sanskrit from him. And I have just enrolled myself in Sambhashanam course from the UP Sanskrit Sansthan. And by profession, okay, I've changed quite a few. I have been into teaching, but right now you could say that I'm a freelance editor. I was an editor with the Daily a very long time ago, but right now I do editing and translating. And since now my interests have moved into the realm of spirituality, and I pick books that match my interests, I thought it gives one a deeper understanding of the knowledge of Sanskrit, as well as, Bhaja Govindam, it's again very close to my heart, and the knowledge of Sanskrit. So I decided to kind of, I'm testing the waters, and I don't know how far I will be able to go looking at the illustrious careers that these people have here. And I think down south, people are, I don't know, they just happen to meet Sanskrit more often than we do here out in the north. We meet Hindi more, but that's not the same as Sanskrit. And I'm quite enjoying my journey. This young person, Prashant, is a very enthusiastic teacher, and his oldest student at our center is an 83-year-old who's very smitten by the way he teaches, and she's such an ardent student of his, and it's given a new joy, learning a new language. I'm fond of learning new languages, and I have learned quite a few, but this is something that was probably, sometimes there are things that are under the radar for even in your bucket list. And I think spirituality, learning Sanskrit, and delving deep into our scriptures was always there, but always under the radar. So I know it's just started unfolding, this entire journey. It's so beautiful wherever I have gone with it so far. So I'm quite looking forward to it. And so I want to delve deeper. So even right now, my project, the project that I have in hand right now, it's a commentary. It's a series of lectures on the Bhagavad Gita by Swami here in the north that you would not be aware of, and one of his students wants to publish it and wants to get it translated to English. So it's like everything has come together for me in this past couple of years. So I wanted to go deeper. So as I said, I'm testing testing waters. Will I be able to do it? And somebody's already scared me about Sasyam, which I haven't bowled for. So let me see how far, how earnestly I can pursue this.
It's a
Thank
very
you so
easy.
much for having me. Is it?
Given that you come from a language background, it should be a very easy thing for you to take.
Oh, really? Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here and so happy.
I tell this the simplest way. If I can do it, anybody can do it. It's as simple as that. So,
thank you.
So, welcome. Astu. Usha Mahodaya. Usha Mahodaya अस्ति वा? उषा महोदय अस्ति।
महोदय अहं परिचयं दत्तवती।
आमां सत्यं सत्यं। श्री श्यामला महोदय भवती न दत्तवती।
Namaskaraha. My name is Sri Shamala. I completed for MCom in Trichy, finished college, and during Corona time I joined in Samskrita Bharati, Samskritam, completed 4 levels, then learning Bhagavad Gita, Sundaragandam, etc. And now I have joined Bhaja Govindam to learn the Sanskrit shlokas and language. Even though I finished 4 levels, trying to improve Sanskritam knowledge by learning shlokas.
Very good. So I'm assuming you're comfortable with the Devanagari script.
I have already completed 4 levels.
Oh, so 4 levels. Kovidak Kritavati. Uttama. Idanim Sanskrit eva vaktum shakyate va?
Aham prayatnam karomi.
प्रयत्नं करिष्यामः। प्रशान्तः अपि अस्ति अत्र। सर्वे अत्र इदानीम् एकं सङ्कल्पं करिष्यामः। सर्वे संस्कृते वक्तुं प्रयत्नं करिष्यामः अस्तु वा by the end of this we should all be good in speaking in Sanskrit okay
yeah
that should be one thing that we should all try to do okay धन्यवादाः महोदय
धन्यवादः
धन्यवादाः okay okay अस्तु okay one more वेंकट महोदय
नमस्कारः महोदय
नमस्कारः
मम नाम वेङ्कटरामन् अहं तिरुचिनगरे वसामि अहं कोविदपर्यन्तं कृतवान् इदानीम् अहं भजगोविन्दं पठितुम् इष्टवान्
भवतः चलचित्रं नास्ति वा
महोदय
चलचित्रं नास्ति वा your video is not working
वीडियो अस्ति अस्ति
एकवारं so that we can all put a face to that name वदतु वदतु
मम नाम वेङ्कटरामन् अहं तिरुचिनगरे वसामि कोविदपर्यन्तम् पठितवान् इदानीम् अहं भजगोविन्दं पठितुम् इष्टवान् अतः भवतः वर्गं मध्ये पञ्जीकरणं कृतवान्
उत्तमम् उत्तमं भवतः अपेक्षा का
अग्रे संस्कृतज्ञानवर्धनं करिष्यामः
ज्ञानं वर्धनम् इति अस्तु वेदान्तचिन्तनमपि करिष्यति वा भवान्
इदानीं नास्ति महोदय अहं प्रयत्नम् अग्रे करोमि
अग्रे कर्तुम् अस्तु अत्र अट्लीस्ट् किञ्चित् प्रारम्भं करिष्यामः
अस्तु महोदय
अस्तु धन्यवादाः
धन्यवादः महोदय
धन्यवादाः सर्वे अत्र संस्कृतं भवतः as fine Sanskrit as you speak, everybody should be able to speak this Sanskrit. Should be one of the objectives of this program. I think we will get a lot of things. प्रयश्यं सर्वे करिष्यामः सर्वे मिलित्वा करिष्यामः धन्यवादाः फ्रान् महोदय अपि आगतवती अस्तु फ्रान् महोदय भवतु वक्तुमिच्छति वा
नमस्कारः मम नाम फ्राम् अस्मि अहं सन्तियागो नगरे चिले देशे वसामि अहं संस्कृतं पठामि अहम् आङ्ग्लभाषा अध्यापका That's what I remember. I got nervous now. But I'm really happy to be here again with you, with your guidance and my classmates for a new adventure. Thank you so much.
Any expectations from Bhaja Govindam? Anything that you think?
I am really excited to study this Bhakti text and also to start learning Sanskrit from the scriptures. So I'm excited to read this poem.
Yeah, so Fran Mahodaya has done is advanced quite a bit in her yoga as well as in her Sanskrit journey. So that is something that I wanted to point out. Astu Vijaya Mahodaya.
Namaskara. Aham Vijaya, Bangalore Nagare Vasami. Bhaja Govindam since our childhood, I heard singing MS Subbulakshmi Bhaja Govindam, the 9 to 8 slokas, and I know the meaning of those that. And other than that, I want to know all the 31 slokas Anvayas from you. You are a good teacher. We had a wonderful interaction last year in Lata.
Dhanyawadaha.
I want the same this year for Bhaja Govindam.
Astu. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahodaya.
Thank you. Nilima Mahodaya.
Namaskar. I'm Nilima. I was a teacher in school, but now, of course, I'm retired. And I have been a student of Karthik sir for the past 2 years. Although last year I could not be very diligent. I wanted to stay connected with this group and I wanted to learn more about Bhaja Govindam because I had heard a little bit. I know a little bit of the meanings of the first few shlokas. So I wanted to explore that. And also, I'm interested in the inside stories that Karthik sir brings out, the asides. So those are very interesting and I would love to, that is my expectation from this, to stay connected with Sanskrit and with this group.
धन्यवादः ललिता महोदय भवती आगतवती वा इदानीं
आं महोदय
शक्यते वा
when you call my name I just arrived from my office so not able to attend immediately
चिन्ता नास्ति चिन्ता नास्ति
मम
भवत्याः
नाम ललिता
चलचित्रम्
कुमारी
अस्ति वा भवत्याः चलचित्रम् अस्ति वा do you have a video
yes
yeah that way we
नमस्कारं
can
महोदय अहं ललिता कुमारी हैदराबाद नगरे वसामि अहं संस्कृतभारती द्वारा कोविदा परीक्षा लिखितवती गीता सोपानं द्वितीयभागमपि लिखितवती इदानीम् अहं गीता प्रवेश पठामि उस्मानिया यूनिवर्सिटी द्वारा विश्वविद्यालय द्वारा अहं MA संस्कृत अपि पठामि इदानीं पठामि I wish to learn the grammatical analysis of all the words in a Bhaja Govindam shlokas. And even though I'm listening to it since my childhood, I'm not well versed in reciting without seeing the book. So now I wish to learn recitation without seeing the book and along with Anvaya and meaning and everything so that I can be thorough with those shlokas. Unless I know the inner meaning, I'm not able to by heart. It may be. I feel so. So that's why I have joined this group, Mahodaya.
Wonderful. So we will get somebody in this group to record. After this, then somebody has to who is good with singing. Ashwini Mahodaya is good with singing. There are a couple of others who are good with singing. We will get them to record and that we can all practice with that.
Yes, Mahodaya. Dhanyawad.
Dhanyawadaha. Then there was Srividya Mahodaya.
Namaskaram Mahodaya.
Namaskaraha.
Namaskaram. Sorry with my video and data. It is I'm traveling. So Namasarvebhyah. Sorry Karthik Mahodaya. My Sanskrit Sambhashanam is not that much good. That's why I have taken a So I'm a student. Myself Srividya. I'm living in place called Mayiladuthurai, Mayavaram, near in Tanjavur district.
Yes, very aware of it.
Yes. I'm a BA English Literature graduate, and I was a housewife. I am a housewife still. After 2018, I took after my children stopped studying and they went for higher studies. So I started studying, and I am the only student in my home now. So I'm a student of our Guruji, Jekman Guruji, for Bhagavad Gita, and I finished up to Malati with Ask Bhanu Mahodaya was my teacher, and also I have learned Bhagavad Gita chanting from Mahalakshmi ji. Now I have taken a break for 1 year due to my other constraints. So now I'll I wanted to join Sambhashana with Anuradha Mahodaya also, but I couldn't get a seat there. Now I'm interested in
these stations. You will get it. Don't worry.
Yes. I'm waiting for her to include me. So I'm a student of Sanskrit from the age of 5. So I've been taught. Yeah. So I've never lost touch with Sanskrit. So up to my college also, the Sanskrit language was there. After that, and I thought I should do more with my grammar and other forms of it, and then joined the Ask Sanskrit education. So I'm now here. So after in this 1 year, I want to study more, and I am particularly interested in Anvaya. So the Akanksha Kramena Anvaya, whatever we have been doing with Samshaya Ramayana and Bhagavad Gita was very interesting. So now I am looking forward to do more of Bhaja Govindam Anvaya and learn. We have been taught Bhaja Govindam. We are daily reciting that, but we don't get the full meaning of it with the English translation. So I want to learn more from you, Mahodaya. That's my expectation.
Anybody whom I have missed out? Gomati Mahodaya Kritavati kila?
Namaste, Mahodaya. I'm Gomati. I'm Gomati. I live in Madurai, Tamil Nadu. And I have done my Kovida from Samskrita Bharati. And I'm very interested in learning as one madam put it earlier, Anvaya of Shlokas, because I started learning Sanskritam after my retirement of my job. I was an English teacher. Okay. So I wish to learn more of Anvaya. Though I have learned up to Kovida, like we have not had lot of scope for doing Anvaya of our own, of shlokas. So maybe this would be the right platform for us to delve into Anvaya. And of course, the grammatical features of the shloka also. I'm very new to Bhaja Govindam. I've just heard M.S. Lakshmi madam singing. I don't know anything about it. So looking forward to learning more. Thank you.
Astu, dhanyawadaha.
Dhanyawadaha.
Okay, I hope everybody has done. No, is there anyone I missed out? Please raise your hand through. Please erase your hand. Everybody has been introduced, right? Yeah. So I hope I have not missed anyone. Venkatraman Mahodaya has also done. Astu. Okay. So, first of all, Suswagatam. Sarvebhyah Suswagatam. Dhanyawadaha. You have all given me an opportunity to look at. Okay. Basavaraj Mahodaya, this session actually goes on till 8:30. So, yeah. So, I'll make certain house rules clear. Yes, Basavaraj Mahodaya. The session will be from 7 to 8:30. So everybody might want to just log their calendars accordingly. Okay, so that's the first thing. Thank you for bringing this up. It will be on Mondays. Some of you had registered saying it is on Thursday, but it is not going to be on Thursdays. It is going to be on Mondays from 7 to 8:30. Okay. Indian Standard, IST, not the. So we have people from all over the world. So I would like to clarify that this is whatever times I am going to put out are all going to be in IST. So you please make the adjustment as per your daylight saving, Eastern Daytime, PST, whatever. So I'm not bothering about that anymore. I'm done with that. I have done my share of that changes when I was traveling enough. So thank you. Okay. A little bit about myself. I am Karthik. I come from a bit of a traditional background in terms of Sanskritam. So from childhood, I've been introduced to a few things. So with that background, if you were to ask me, do I have a formal degree in Sanskrit or do I have a formal training in Sanskrit? No, I do not. I am also just like you probably, but I have some training from the traditional Vedic schools of thought and my gurus and Guru Parampara. So if that is the formal school of thought for me. the Gurukula system, and I have my gurus who have taught me. And that is my background in Sanskritam. In the Laukika world, yes, of course, I also need to earn my bread and so-called 2 square meal a day. I work in a few places. I consult for a few companies. I come from a data science background. A data scientist, if you want me to traditionally call it. I am partly associated with the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore as well. I used to teach. I am still doing a part of things there. So that is my background in some sense. So what do I do with Sanskrit? It is something that I love, and I love to do it. And why Sanskrit? It's basically Sanskrit is a means to understand our culture better, to understand our nature better. So that is the reason why why Sanskritam. Of course, I come from, and yeah, tradition. Since I come from the traditional school, I should also make it clear, Bhaja Govindam happens to be a very natural fit because I come from the Shankara school of philosophy and thought, following the Sringeri Mutt. So that is my background. So that is why all this fits in, and that is how I have started. So far what I have seen, and everyone will appreciate this, this is a very diverse group that we have here. We have people all the way who are beginners, at least in some sense, at least in some basic levels of Sanskritam, all the way till who have completed Kovida and also very comfortable and conversant in speaking. That is one level of one dimension. I should give you there are multiple dimensions to this. I just need to I just want to put it out. Second dimension is the Vedanta dimension itself. There are people who have done Vedanta with Prasthanatrayi, full Shankara Bhashya, and finished all that. Okay. So now this is a challenge for me because I am going to be tested on all these fronts. So it's going to be a wonderful journey. I also look forward to taking this up because it has to be on both the dimensions. We have to move on, not just, it can't be dry Vyakarna where everyone is talking about, okay, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate, and we start, blindly or in a sleep state start reciting it. That cannot happen. We have to take a Vyakarna and get to the depth of it. Also go into the rasasara of it and look at it from a bhakti perspective because this is a bhakti grantha. Okay. So that is the key challenge here, and all of you will appreciate it. So given this, one request to all of you, one sincere and humble request, I will follow a certain speed and a certain rhythm in this. So if you think it is too high, please call out. I would like to correct that and bring it to a level where everybody is able to understand. Okay, so that would be my main purpose of this. If you think it is way too low, please call out as well. That is, say, 2 classes. I already know everything that you're doing in the past 2 classes. We don't need this level of detail. We need to go differently. Then we'll take a consensus of how the class is and how much people are able to understand and everything. Okay. This is quite a heterogeneous group, and it is interesting. It's a very diverse group. That way we can also, what we will do is, we can get more people to interact and more ideas can come forward. That is the purpose of this whole exercise. As we always say, it is sahana vavatu sahanau bhunaktu saviryam karavavahi. That is, together we shall learn. We are going to learn this together. Nobody is ahead, nobody is behind. All of us are going to go together. How you experience it is yours. The experience part is yours. Learning part is all together. How you put in your own sadhana, how we do our own sadhana, how we take, that is all for individuals to take it. That we will all do it for ourselves. Okay. So I'm assuming everybody understands or knows who Shankaracharya is. Is there anyone who does not know about Shankaracharya? Can one of you just take a minute to summarize Shankaracharya for me. If you were to summarize Shankaracharya in 1 minute. Anybody up to that? Yeah, Parvati Mahodaya, please take it. Parvati Mahodaya, then Shalini Mahodaya. Yes.
Shankaracharya was born at Khaladi, and he took sannyas at a very young age. He was the only son of his mother, and I mean, there was signs of brilliance even when he was born. He traveled across the country some 1600 years ago, 1617. So, and he was a great Sanskrit scholar. He was he was well known for his clarity of thought and his Advaita philosophy. He has set up mutts across the country, north, south, east, west, and Kanchipuram added to it. And probably revived Hinduism when Buddhism and Jainism was reigning, and sort of united and revived Hinduism.
Okay.
I mean, very, very rudimentary.
Okay, thank you. We'll take 1 minute from Shalini Mahodaya.
I don't think there's much to add here because she's given the basics. I don't remember years and all, but yes, he was born somewhere around 800 AD, the 8th century. See, that's the rough time I think and he's considered an avatara. And avatara, why? Because at that time, not only did he reconcile, not only did he bring together like he reconciled the Vaishnavas, the Shaivas, and the Shaktas. So there were these three different sects that were totally, they had torn apart from each other. And also the Buddhists and the Jains, as the Mahodaya mentioned before me, that the entire Sanatan Dharma culture was being blown to smithereens. And he was the one, and he adopted the traditional, what would you could say, style of debate. And he traveled all across India. And it said that he crisscrossed India 4 times and like the entire length. And then he brought together everyone and just defeated everyone in debate. So his debates were his tool. And of course, he was very brilliant. At the age of 5, he kind of emotionally blackmailed, if we know that instance where he emotionally blackmailed his mom and said, I want to take sannyasa. That's a very interesting anecdote, and for you to tell us another time. And he passed away at the young age of 32, I believe. And by 16, he had written bhashyas, commentaries on major scriptures, major texts, and is one of his most brilliant texts that I have read very few, but this was one that just the brilliance of it just blew me away, and that is Bhaja Govindam. And I will have to listen to this MS Subbulakshmi thing that everyone is raving about. I have not come across it in North India, but I shall. And I do hope to come across more of Shankaracharya. So yeah, so he united people across, across cadres. So whether people had gone out of the fold or whether even being in Hinduism, they were in different folds, so much so that they had become, they had torn apart. So ideologically speaking, they had just, drifted away. So he brought everyone together, and that is why he's known as an avatara. And 4 mathas, and if you travel to Badrinath and you see how the Keralite Pandits do it there, they do the rites and rituals. It's amazing. I mean, for a person who lived such a short time in this earth to bring about such massive changes. And then, of course, there are so many anecdotes related to him, how he found the Murti of Vishnu in Bhagwan in the Ganges in Badrinath. So many things. But that is for you to tell us. Thank you so much.
Usha Mahodaya, you had to say something. Usha Mahodaya and Vijaya Mahodaya.
Mahodaya, I had heard one shloka about Shankaracharya, which summarizes his entire life. I'll just say that, like,
yes, please. Yeah, that will summarize a lot.
Ashtame Chaturo Veda, Dwadashe Sarvashastra Ved, Shodashe Kritavan Bhashyam, Dvatrinshe Munirabdegat. So, by the age of 8 years.
Yes, that is what takes up everything. Yes, thank you. Vijaya Mahodaya, you wanted to add something?
Regarding this thing, Bhaja Govindam, I had, like, in my childhood, I learned one story. Like, when Shankaracharya was walking on the lanes of Kashi, one Pandit was revising, the old Pandit, he's revising Panini Vyakarana. So, at that time, Shankaracharya asked that Pandit, you are at the Avasana stage and you have to think about how to jnana, that moksha marga, you have to think about the moksha marga, not this thing. So at that time, Shankaracharya had recited 2 Bhaja Govind slokas, and when he was traveling with his 14 disciples, and the 14 disciples had recited the remaining slokas, the last 4 were recited by the Shankaracharya.
Okay. We'll validate that differently at this point in time. Dhanyavadaha. Okay. Okay, thank you. So what we will now do is, let me take a few minutes to just, you have covered a lot of things, but I do want to give a little more, I want to add a little more perspective to what all of you have shared. You have shared a wonderful things and wonderful things that have come up. So a few things that I wanted to share with you. Now, when we talk about somebody as an avatar Purusha or somebody who is doing something, now it is not that they do it for them or to correct certain times at that point in time. It is for a state of posterity. If you look at the avatar of Rama, now whatever, I mean, I don't want to get into the dates issue, it's too muddled and too much muddled in so many things, but whenever he came, even to this day, we remember Sri Rama. Similarly, we remember Sri Krishna. Right? Similarly, if I were to look at the contemporary if you were to look at the contemporary Indian history, now please mind that contemporary Indian history for me is not the 18th century post this one which the Western people juxtapose about themselves onto us. They understood laughing at in 18th century is not my problem. They understood divine comedy. They understood flesh and blood in 18th century is not my problem. I mean, we have been having temple architecture which was in full blood and flesh since I think 5th century BC or earlier. So I don't think we should look at that. So contemporary history for me would be at the time when Buddha was there. That was the time when things started changing. Now, what the time of Buddha is, again, I don't want to put a date to it because that's all very disputed. Whatever time it was from that point to today is contemporary Indian history. Whatever you want to take it. Since that point in time, if we were to look at some things that have unified India or integrated India over a period of time when things were breaking away. When I say India, I'm talking of the Indian subcontinent. I'm not talking of the current day political shape of India. No, that is not what I'm talking about again. Okay. There were 3 people who distinctly stand out in this journey. So let me put them up again. So the first one there was Acharya Vishnugupta or Chanakya. Now, of course, his contribution to the world was he, of course, I mean, establishing the Maurya Empire, but more than establishing it, getting rid of the Alexandrian or the Greek invasion on the Indian subcontinent. If he is remembered today, his Niti or whether it's Chanakya Niti or Arthashastra, what has come out, is a result of his journey through that. And that has been established. Even today we talk about it and it's been adopted. Everybody follows it, but for our Indian politicians. I don't understand why. That's a different story. But that is what is very deeply established. That was the first person who integrated India in contemporary times. Okay. Now that establishment that came in around whatever time period, that was able to withstand the onslaught of various other things for about 1,000 years. Because his ideology, his way of putting things forth, his way of doing things was followed in the Indian subcontinent for that period of time. Okay. After that, when there was a spiritual decline in the country, even at Acharya Vishnugupta's time, it was the same thing. And he established some political force to overcome those problems. Acharya Shankara's time, it was the Matabedhas which were there in a larger scale. Now, what they realized at that point in time was getting into the nitty-gritties of the problem alone is going to create bigger problems in future. So these people are not those who are fixing some problems at that point in time. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about them today. They fix certain problems for a long period of time, for a large duration of time. That's why we can say, okay, there is something that is still remaining. So Acharya Shankara gave us what is called the Panchayatana Puja, for instance, which happens in every person's house. Whether it is in Kashmir or whether it is in Kanyakumari, that is the whether it is a Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaishya, anybody. The form of puja that is performed follows either a Panchayatana Puja and a Shodachopachara Puja. These are the two most popular and forms of puja. There are variants of it. Madhvacharya might have given some variant of it and Ramanujacharya has given some sort of variants of it, which are not disputed. But he established certain norms and things that were laid out for posterity, and that has helped survive the onslaught of the Islamic invasion and the Christian invasion put together. That was the contribution of Jagat Guru Shankaracharya, and that is why he is called the Jagat Guru. There's a reason why he is called the Jagat Guru. You don't attach a word Jagat Guru to everybody. I can't say Jagat Guru to Vishnugupta, for instance. He's Chanakya. There's a reason why he is called the Jagat Guru. So in fact, Nochur Venkatraman just gave a talk on who a Jagat Guru is. So who can be called a Jagat Guru? So beautiful talk. Maybe it's there on the website somewhere and you can take a look at it. Then the third person who again came in the Shankaracharya lineage was Acharya Vidyaranya in somewhere in the 13th, 14th century. He was in the Sringeri lineage, 12th Jagat Guru, 12th Guru if I'm not mistaken. He established the Vijayanagara Empire. That was because of that was again prevented the Islamic onslaught onto the south. That's why south is a lot more protected even to this day than from the northern part of the country. Okay. So this, while Acharya Vishnugupta did it in a political way, Vidyaranya also did it in a political way, Shankaracharya did it in an en masse spiritual way. Now that tells us a lot about the person who was there for just a short period, as somebody said, a short period of time. Establishing so much in such a short period of time. Yes, we'll recollect a little bit about Shankaracharya because it's imperative that we go through this a little bit, because where does Bhaja Govindam come in the plethora of things that he has offered to us? So to put that in perspective, I just need to give you a little bit of background to Acharya Shankara. So Shankaracharya, if I were to go back, first thing, yeah, he was not born in Kaladi. So that is a very big this one that we all make. So in the southern part of the country, it is very common. It is very the ritual is that the pregnant woman goes back to her mother's place to give birth. It's about 30 kilometers from Kaladi, where it is Pervam. Today, I think the Chinmaya International Foundation is set up there, and you have a beautiful ashrama there. So that is where he was actually born. That's in Pervam. That's also very near to Cochin. Okay. Kaladi is where he spent his first 8 years. So as somebody beautifully recounted, Ashtavarshe Vedavitam. He was already well versed in the Vedas by the age of 8. And then the beautiful story somebody recounted that, there was how a crocodile caught him, and that moksha, he said, I'll take sannyasa, promising his mother that he'll come back whenever she wants him. So that happened in Kaladi. That place is also there today for people to see. Ashtame Varche sannyasam svikritavan. From there he went in search of a guru, Govinda Bhagavatpada, in Omkareshwara, Narmada Tire. Not, Omkareshwara, sorry, Narmada Tire, not Omkareshwara, it was beyond. Yeah, so that is where he found his guru. Okay. The timeline put out is 788 AD to 820 AD. That was where he lived. Okay. But yeah, there are so many accounts. I don't want to get into any of those. What is the right date? Which is that I'm not getting into any intellectual discussion around that. This is the most common date known, and we'll live with that. Now, one important thing that comes is, before this, somebody said, what did he do in these 32 years? 32 years is a pretty short time to live. So, for anybody, even in modern day times. At the age of 8, he already knew all the Vedas. By the age of 12, he was Shastravita, knew the Shastras. See, knowing the Vedas is one part of it. Applying it and getting to know how to get results out of the Vedas is the Shastra. And how to lead the life. By 12, he had already done that. By 16, he had completed writing all the bhashyas that he was writing. So, bhashyas were Prasthanatraya. I'll talk about the bhashyas, what the bhashyas are and how it is. So, yeah, we'll narrate that story at that point in time. Now, one of the key things that people talk about is he started Advaita Siddhanta, which is not true. So, let me be very clear. Advaita Siddhanta was not something that Adi Shankaracharya started. Definitely not. He propagated Advaita Siddhanta. Advaita Siddhanta has been there ever since the universe was there, and ever since the universe will be there. Okay? Because Advaita is if you go to any of the Upanishads, they will talk about Advaita. So, kamayata bhausyam braja yeti satapo tapyata satapas tapva sarvam midakum asrijata. So it goes on. Then Brahma vidapnoti param Satyam Gnanamanandam Brahma Yo Vedanitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. It goes on. So Advaita Siddhanta was not something that did not exist pre-Shankaracharya. It existed. What it did in its debates, what it did in its arguments, were use the Shastras and the Shastra Tarka and the facts based on Shastra and that Pramana to prove that all that winds up into Advaita. That was his key contribution to the Shastras, to the Siddhanta. And then he went on to propagate that Siddhanta even more. That was the contribution of Shankaracharya. So Advaita Siddhanta was not non-existent before Shankaracharya came. It was very much in existence. Just that it was somewhere, shrouded in a sort of, everybody doing, if you get into too much of details, you miss the big picture. Right? So that veil had to be taken out. And that was a very difficult task. Trust me, it is not easy to tell someone, to stop doing certain things and start focusing on something else. That was what he was able to establish. In fact, his debate with Mandana Mishra is the best known, where he said karma itself will lead you to moksha, which again he argued. Then Jaimini Maharshi himself had to appear and give that as a no. We'll talk about it in some classes in future. But please be very clear, Advaita Siddhanta was not something that he started. That is something very, it's a misconception prevalent in a lot of places. I want to clarify that upfront. Okay. Second, how did he do that pracharana? Chaturamnaya pitaha sanstapitaha. Put out the 4 Chaturamnaya pitas. So mathas, it is not the mathas that were established. There is a difference between Amnaya Pitha and Matha. Amnaya Pitha is where, in if I were to put it in modern day terms, it's a research centers. These are the research centers of these of learning. Centers of learning and research. Center of learning and research is what is an Amnaya Pitha. So you have the Badrinath, which is a Jyotir Pitha. This is for Atharvana Veda. And Mahavakya there, Ayamatma, Brahma, all these will move to Advaita Vedanta in some sense. So that's where it is. Govardhana Pitha is where Rigveda is. That's the Prajnanam Brahma is where it comes from. That's in Puri. Then you have the Kalika Pitha in Dwarka, which is the Samaveda, Tattvamasi. And Sringeri is the Sharada Pitha, where it is Aham Brahmasmi. Okay, so this is what he did. But more than that, 4 times he traveled across the country at a time where you did not have motorized transport. Forget motorized transport, he had to probably walk a lot. So if you in 16 years, yeah, because by 16 till 16 he was writing quite a bit. But for 16 years, if you have to just travel 4 times across the country, I don't know how many people can manage to do it, even with all the modern facilities around. Okay, so this is something that I want to talk about first. Then what are the things that he has created? What is the repository of knowledge that is left out for posterity? That is the first thing. That is the thing that I want to talk about. There are a lot of stotras. There are, this is what is called stotra, stuti and stotra are the stuti stotarana priya. That is what Vishnu is prayed as. So that's one of the names. So if you are, okay, where do I start? What do I need to start looking at if I were to ever start my journey in so-called spiritual world, or look at myself? He has created about 150 stotras for everybody, which is very easy, which are very easy to recite and take it and, just start reciting it easily. Okay. There are 150 also, so I have just listed a few of them. If you move a step further and say, okay, now I have done this much, now I understand the stotra, I want to do something a little more. Now I want to get into a level of inquisition and inquiry, what is called a level of inquiry. There are what are called Prakarana Granthaha. Viveka Chudamani, Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha, Atma Bodha is very common, Tattva Bodha, Upadesha Sahasri, Bhaja Govindam comes in this. Bhaja Govindam is one of the Prakarana Granthas that we say. Even though a lot of people would put it in Stotra, there is a reason why it's put in Prakarana Grantha. We'll understand it later. Okay. Then there were a lot of bhashyas which he wrote. What do we mean by a bhashya? For those of you who are not aware of what a bhashya is, there is something existing. Let us say, for instance, all of us have heard of Vishnu Sahasranama. All of us know Vishwam Vishnu Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavyavot Prabhuham Bhuta Krit Bhuta Bhritbhavo Bhutatma Bhuta Bhavanaha. It goes on. Right? Now, why those 1,000 names? Why only such 1,000 names? Why should they be for Vishnu? Why? What is the significance of those 1,000 names? How do we understand that? Vishwam Vishnuho Vashatkaraha Bhutaha Bhavyaha Bhavat Prabhuho. Similarly, we have 1,000 names for Shiva. Right? So to understand that, for common people, we need somebody like Shankaracharya to tell us, okay, this is exactly what is meant by this name. This is how it is to be understood. We'll see one of the names in some time. Okay, this is how it is to be understood. This is how it is to be. This is how it is to be internalized. Okay. Then Upanishad. Upanishads are also not something that are easy to understand if you are not coming from a very deep background. A bhashya for Upanishad was also required at that time. The simplest of all, Bhagavad Gita. How many of us really understand Bhagavad Gita without the Shankara bhashya? You know, Ashotya Nanvashochyastvam Pragyavadansha Bhashate Gatasu Nagatasu Shananushocanti Panditaha. I mean, can anybody make sense of it? Something that is gone and something that is yet to go is already gone. How do you make sense of a statement like that? That's exactly what it means. Ashotya Nanvashochyastvam Pragyavadansha Bhashate. You are speaking like somebody who knows so much. That's the first line. Gatasun Agatasunshcha. Those who are gone and those who are yet to go are not thought about by the Panditas. Now, where is this going and how is this going? That's the first shloka. By the way, that is just the first shloka that Krishna says. Without the bhashya of Shankaracharya, who is the Pandita in which case? Because there is a word Pandita there, right? Gatasun. What is Gatasun? Agatasun. I can understand Agatasun is the opposite of Gatasun. But what is the Gatasun itself? Gata is okay, some kam dhato, okay, going somewhere. Where going where? So there are many things that he has clarified and laid out very, very elaborately for us. Okay. So he had written what is called the Brahma Bhashya for the Brahma Sutra. Okay, I think it is 8:30 for now. What I'm going to do is I'll take, can we have 2 minutes? Will I get 2 minutes from everyone? Okay. With just 2 minutes, I'll just close it. Yeah. So he wrote, there is what is called a Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra, Athato Brahma Jigyasaha, that is what it starts like. Sutras are, imagine sutras as some sort of an axiom. So axiomatic or theorematic statements. Suppose I say, Pythagoras theorem, for instance. Let me give a very simple example. The square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the two sides. The square of the two sides. Right? Simple? Simple statement. At face value, we can accept it. Now, what are two sides? What is that hypotenuse? What is a right angle? Somebody has to explain these things, no? Without that, it is of no use. So, he wrote a bhashya for these sutras. There are some 600 odd things there. So, for each sutra is written a detailed commentary on what they are. So, when he wrote it, then he was talking about it. It appears that Vyasa Maharshi, this was at the age of 16. Vyasa Maharshi appears with him and appears in front of him and in the form of some random Pandita and starts arguing with him, getting into a debate, saying what you have written is probably prove this, prove this, prove this. It goes on and on and on. And finally, one of his students realizes it is actually Vyasa Maharshi only who has come here. So then that is when he realizes, he says, okay, I shouldn't have argued, and he falls on his feet, at his feet, and then Vyasa Maharshi blesses him for another 16 years. Otherwise, his Ayu was the first 16 years. That is where it was supposed to have ended. But Vyasa Maharshi blesses him to live for another 16 years to propagate. And in that 16 years is when he establishes the Chaturamnaya Pitha. Okay. So we will stop with this. If you are interested, how many of you are interested in learning a little more about Shankaracharya? Everybody is. Then I will give you 2 references. Okay. I will send it with next week's presentation. But yeah. So the 2 things are, one is Shankara Digvijaya. That is a book that you can read. That is by one Madhaviya Shankara Digvijaya. That is originally in Sanskrit, but it's been translated into English. That is one. That is the original. That is the first one, which is more of a very factual understanding of Shankaracharya's way of doing things. Okay. After that, there is one more book, which is a little more dramatized and is in the modern day times. the way it is to be done. This is written with some background of with some hindsight. What could have been running in Shankaracharya's mind at that point, given current day situation, etc. So that is one by Dr. S.L. Bhairappa. That is a book called Sartha. The protagonist there is Chandrika, one lady who follows Shankaracharya all around and then puts out this one. That's in Kannada, but it is now been translated into various other languages. It's in English, Sanskrit, and Hindi, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So these are two books. With this, I will close for today. I will do the Mangalam. In case anybody has questions, can stay back and ask. Astu. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayah. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Harihi Om. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Harihi Om. धन्यवादाः
धन्यवादः महोदय।
धन्यवादः महोदय।